You know what's funny? Some men spend years working out at the gym, buying luxury cars, or memorizing cheesy pickup lines, and still can't hold a woman's attention for more than 3 minutes. And then, there's this guy wearing a t-shirt and sneakers, who says just one sentence, and suddenly, she's leaning forward, laughing out loud, and twirling her hair. What's his secret? It's not looks. It's not money. It's words, but not the ones you think. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 captivating lines, not pickup lines, but psychological triggers, that can spark instant attraction in women. And here's my twist. I won't just give you the science behind them, I'll also share real-life stories, mistakes to avoid, and how to make them your own so you come across as genuine, not like you're reading from a dating manual. When compliments don't touch the heart. There's something interesting about compliments that most people overlook. They're often like beautifully wrapped candies, shiny, eye-catching, making you want to unwrap them right away. But the sweetness fades far too quickly. And when it's gone, hardly anyone remembers what that candy looked like in the first place. You can tell a woman she's beautiful. She'll smile, say, thank you, and that feeling will vanish in seconds. Not because she's arrogant. Not because the compliment is empty. But because it's too familiar. Since she was a little girl, she's heard it, from family, friends, even strangers passing by. Once, twice, 3 times, then hundreds, thousands of times. Each compliment is like a drop of water falling on the same spot in a pond. At first it creates ripples, but over time, the surface becomes still again. When something repeats too often, our brain becomes immune. It no longer creates the same strong reaction as the first time. And compliments, if they only touch the surface, are like a beautiful postcard with nothing written inside. Deep compliments, the kind that leave a mark for years. If you truly want to leave a deep impression on someone, you need more than, "You look beautiful, you're so talented," or "You look different today." You need to show them you see their real self, the parts they value about themselves but few people notice. This doesn't come from memorizing a few flirty lines from the internet. It comes from how you observe, how you listen, and how you sense the person in front of you. The truth about attraction, not everyone wants to hear it. There's a common belief, especially among men, that to attract a woman, you must be handsome, rich, or at least funny. Those things aren't wrong. But they're just the surface, like a coat of paint on a statue. Being good-looking, wealthy, or charming will get attention, yes. But making someone remember you is a different story. It's like a painting in an art gallery. People stop, admire it for a few seconds, then move on to the next. Lasting attraction isn't about what you have, but about the feeling you leave behind. A man might dress plainly, have no 6-figure bank account, and not look like a movie star. But if he makes a woman feel understood, sparks her curiosity, and inspires her, he becomes more unforgettable than any handsome face. 3 principles for deep attraction, and real stories. 1. The seed of curiosity, the art of leaving space. Curiosity is one of the strongest human emotions. The brain hates unfinished things. We always want to know the answer. When you plant an unanswered question in someone's mind, they think about you more than they realize. True story. One rainy afternoon, I was sitting in a small cafe. At the next table, a man and a woman were talking. She asked, "Why did you choose this career?" He just smiled and replied, "That's a long story. I'll tell you sometime when we have more time." Just one unfinished sentence. But I could see her expression change, a hint of curiosity, a bit of anticipation. When they left, I was almost sure she still had the question in her mind. I wonder what that story is. Lesson. You don't have to reveal everything about yourself at once. Intentional silence or artful withholding can create more intrigue than any long-winded story. 2. Compliments that touch the core, seeing what others don't. Most people compliment the obvious: looks, clothes, style. But the most memorable compliments target what few people notice: a personality trait, a habit, or a value the person cherishes. True story. I once met a new colleague. In meetings, everyone praised her eloquence and professional presentation skills. But when I worked with her, I noticed she remembered everyone's names, and even tiny details like who preferred black coffee or whose child was in which grade. One day, I told her, "I'm really impressed by how you notice and remember details about everyone. Not many people can do that." She looked surprised, then smiled, a smile different from all the others I'd seen. Later, she told me it was the first compliment that touched on something she was truly proud of. Lesson. To touch someone's heart, observe closely and listen deeply. If you compliment something they value but rarely get recognized for, it will stick in their memory. 3. The reversed question, making people want to share more. People love talking about themselves, but they also fear being judged. If you ask the right kind of question, you create a safe space for them to share more deeply. True story. At a friend gathering, someone asked me, "Your job must be really stressful, right?" I didn't answer directly. I smiled and asked, "What do you think is the most stressful part?" Just by flipping the question, the conversation became more engaging. They were curious, wanted to guess, and we ended up talking far longer than expected. Lesson. Don't just answer mechanically. Become the activator of stories, so the other person feels like they're exploring something fun with you. Mistakes that kill attraction. Forcing techniques. People can tell when you're acting instead of being genuine. Going too deep too soon. Every conversation needs a natural pace. Ignoring context. A thoughtful compliment or meaningful line can be lost in a noisy, chaotic setting. Presence and confidence, the foundation of all attraction. True attraction isn't a trick. It's the result of how you live, observe, and see people. When you're genuinely curious, when you compliment with precision, when you ask questions not to score points, but to understand, you stand out. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Love the truth, but also love people." In conversation, that means, don't just aim to impress, aim to connect. This week, when you meet someone, resist the urge to say, "You look great today." Instead, take a closer look at how they speak, how they think, or a small habit you find admirable, and compliment that. Watch their reaction. And notice how you feel. You'll realize that true charm isn't in what you show on the outside, but in the lingering feeling you leave behind after you walk away.